Jody here, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving a spoiler-free review on the latest book that I read. So in my spoiler-free reviews, I go over certain things such as what the book is about, if I've read from this author before or not, my thoughts on the book, my star rating, and if this is a book I would recommend reading. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's spoiler-free book review, and that, my friends, would be for the book Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. So Deep End is about Scarlett Vandermeer. Scarlett is a junior at Stanford who is also a competitive diver on the school's diving team. Ever since Scarlett got to Stanford, her main focus has just been on school and diving. Scarlett's dream is to be a doctor, so to Scarlett that means that school and studying come before anything else. Friends, dating, partying were all things that Scarlett didn't allow herself to participate in when she first arrived at Stanford because she didn't want to get distracted from her main reason for being at school. But Scarlett's perfectly planned out life gets turned upside down when she suffers an injury at a diving competition. As Scarlett is recovering from her injury, Lucas Bloombis comes into her life. Lucas is a senior at Stanford who is also Olympic gold medalist on the school swimming team. To the unknowing, it may appear as though Scarlett and Lucas have nothing in common other than their love for the water, but the two share a secret common interest. Eventually, Scarlett and Lucas form a relationship with one another, but only to strictly explore this common interest of theirs. But the more time that Scarlett starts to spend around Lucas, the more she starts to catch feeling for him, which is a problem because Scarlett's relationship with Lucas was never meant to be anything more than what it was supposed to be. So this is the first book by Ali Hazelwood that I read, and I am for sure excited to read more from this author again in the future. As far as the next book by this author that I would want to read, I'm honestly not sure, but I have lots of options to choose from, seeing as I have every single book this author has ever written, at least as of me making this video. Do I have a book buying problem? Yes. I have to say I have gotten better when it comes to buying books within the last year or so, but that being said, I still very much have a lot of books at the moment. Anyways, in case you didn't know, this author's new book, Mate, which is a sequel to Bride, comes out this October. So now for my thoughts on the book. To start off, I really like this book. I absolutely love this book, which was completely unexpected, seeing as when I picked up this book to read, I didn't even think that I like it. As much as I love the book, there was one thing about the book I didn't like. So first I'll talk about what I liked and then what I didn't. One of the things that I really liked was the writing. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. The writing in this book was just so good. The writing flowed seamlessly from one page to the next. The writing also had this really fun and smart feel to it, while at the same time also being incredibly emotional and intense. Another thing that I liked were the characters. I thought all the characters were very well written and very three-dimensional. You got to know the characters, specifically Scarlett and Lucas, on a deep and emotional level, where you got a real understanding of what they've been through in their lives and the circumstances of what made them who they are today. I also really liked Scarlett and Lucas's relationship in the book. I thought the chemistry between these two characters was so incredibly well done. You could literally feel all the chemistry and all the tension between Scarlett and Lucas on every page of this book. As you were reading the book, not only could you tell how much Scarlett and Lucas were attracted to one another, but how much they also both genuinely seemed to like one another as well. After some time around one another, Scarlett and Lucas's relationship started to be about more than just their shared common interests and attraction to one another. Scarlett and Lucas formed a real bond and a real connection with one another, unlike they have formed with anyone else in their lives before. They both truly got, understood, and cared about each other on a deep and emotional level, where they could open up and not be afraid to be vulnerable with each other. They could always count on the other person to be there for them and to really listen to what they had to say. The last thing that I liked was the sports aspect of the story in the book. I'm not someone who's really into sports, but I have to say I really did find myself liking this element of the story. I thought it was so much fun to read about all the training, practices, meets, and competitions that it takes to be a competitive diver or swimmer. For someone to have that kind of determination, dedication, and fearlessness to be in these kinds of sports is just so admirable. So those are my thoughts on the book as far as what I liked about it. Now for what I didn't like. There was a trope in this book that I just didn't care for. Without getting to the specifics of this particular trope, as this is a spoiler-free review, I will always say that I found parts of the story to be a bit messy because of this trope. That being said, this trope didn't affect my reading experience when reading the book, but every time I was reminded about this trope in the book, I did find myself thinking, yeah, don't really love this. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the book. Now for my star rating. Like I said earlier in my review, I absolutely love this book. I loved the characters, I loved Scarlett and Lucas's relationship, I love the story, and I love the writing. This book for sure is definitely one of my favorite romances now that I've ever read. With all that being said, my star rating for Deep End was that this was definitely more than a 5-star read for me. It was 6 stars. So now for is this a book I would recommend reading? I'll be splitting my recommendation into 3 parts. The first part is that if you don't like spice in your romance novels, I would definitely say to skip reading this book, as this is a very, 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 very spicy and very, 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 very steamy book. And once that spice and steam in the book start, it very much stays in the book until the story is completely over. The second part is that, reviews are great. I'm literally making one right now. That being said, I think reviews for this book can only take you so far at, in helping you decide if this is a book you should read or not. What I mean when I say that is people either seem to love, love, love this book or completely not like it at all. I would call Deep End this year's Normal People by Sally Rooney for that specific reason. Normal People is another very popular and very talked about book that has the same kind of reaction that Deep End has been getting after people have read it. I absolutely love Normal People, by the way. I would highly recommend it, but, in case you're wondering. But that being said, Deep End is very much a book that I think you kind of just have to pick up and read for yourself to find out if it's a book that you'll like or not, or find out if it's a book that's for you or not. The third part is, with all that being said, I would say if you're looking for a really steamy and really spicy sports romance that has a lot of heart and depth in it, I highly recommend Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope that helped you discover a new book today along the way as well. And until next time, bye.